Hey everyone, today I want to talk about something deeply personal. I want to talk about my biggest regrets in life. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not proud of the man I used to be. I was stubborn, hard-headed, foolish. I thought I knew everything. I didn't listen to anyone because in my mind, nobody could tell me anything I didn't already know. Maybe you were like that too. If so, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But something happens as you get older. Life humbles you. The years soften you. They teach you things pride never could. And since retiring, this last year especially, has changed me in ways I never expected. The way I think has changed. The way I treat people has changed. Even the way I listen has changed. Yes, even at 68 years old, I'm still learning, still growing, still taking advice. Funny, isn't it? You'd think by this age we'd have it all figured out, but we don't. So today, I want to share my regrets. Not for sympathy, but in hopes that maybe someone younger listening to this can avoid some of the painful mistakes I made. And if you're older, maybe some of this will hit close to home. Maybe it'll awaken memories you buried a long time ago. So let's begin. I'll go in order. My first major regret was my first marriage. I was around 21, maybe almost 22. She, let's call her Emily, was only 17, almost 18. It was my first serious relationship. Looking back now, I don't think it was love. I think it was infatuation. You know that overwhelming feeling when someone enters your life and your emotions convince you it must be forever. That's what it was. We moved fast, way too fast. We got married only 6 months after meeting. 6 months. And the marriage lasted 1 year. Just one. She cheated on me. At the time we were living in Illinois, where I had met her, she had just finished high school and had started college. Soon after we married, we moved to Florida. Her father was a preacher, and she had grown up in a very strict religious home. Looking back, I think I became her escape route. Because once we got to Florida, everything changed. She got a job, started hanging around people I didn't trust. She stopped coming home at night. I worked late shifts until 11 p.m. And many nights I'd come home to an empty house. No wife, no explanation, just silence. She always had an excuse. I'm at a friend's house. But eventually, I caught her. That year broke something inside me. The stress got so bad it made my health worse. My Crohn's disease flared constantly. I filed for divorce after 1 year of marriage, and then it took another entire year for the divorce to be finalized. It wrecked me. I didn't marry again for almost 8 years. During that time, I avoided commitment. I dated around, tried to numb the pain, tried to convince myself I was fine. But that first marriage left scars. The second big regret in my life, money. Or more specifically, not saving it. My mother warned me over and over, save your money. But I didn't listen. Back then in the early 80s, retirement planning wasn't what it is today. There weren't 401ks everywhere. If you saved, you had to do it yourself. My mother even convinced me to buy a little stock, just a few $100s. Know what I did? Sold it. Bought a motorcycle. That pretty much sums up my mindset back then. Spend now, think later. And honestly, I inherited that mindset. My father was successful, very successful. We had a nice house, a motorhome, fishing boats, cars for everyone, motorcycles, toys everywhere. We lived well, but we didn't learn saving. We learned spending. We learned debt. And that mentality followed me into adulthood. The same way smoking was normal back then. Everybody smoked. Parents, grandparents, friends. You smoked everywhere. Restaurants, airplanes, movie theaters. Nobody cared. Nobody believed it could kill you. I smoked too. Thankfully, I quit around 10 years ago. I just hope I quit early enough. But let's get to the deepest regret. Years later, I remarried. Let's call her Sarah. She had a 9-year-old son when we married. Then we had a child together. And I wanted to be the best provider possible. I wanted my family happy. So I did what I thought a good husband and father should do. I bought things. Needed a washer and dryer? Bought them. Refrigerator? Bought it. Clothes? Bought them. Everything went on credit. Sears card, store cards, credit cards, loans. I told myself I was taking care of my family. But the truth? I was trying to buy happiness. And that mistake nearly destroyed us. We kept spending. Cars, boats, motorcycles, pool, house, vacations, whatever made us feel successful. By the mid-1990s, I was drowning. Around $50,000 in credit card debt. New vehicles, leases, bills everywhere, minimum payments piling up. And one day, I couldn't even make those anymore. Listen carefully if you're young. This part matters. Credit cards are not evil, but carrying debt on them, that can destroy your life. A small monthly payment feels harmless. It isn't. It's a trap. They don't want you debt-free. They want you paying forever. And I was trapped, deeply trapped. My wife had no idea how bad things were. I handled the finances. Finally, I had to sit down and confess everything. That conversation was brutal, humiliating, terrifying. To fix it, I took out a home equity loan. Big mistake. Our home had gained value. We bought it for around $95,000. Now it was worth around $150,000. So I borrowed $50,000 against the house. Used that money to pay off the credit cards. At first, it felt like relief. No more calls, no more threats, no more letters. I thought I had saved us. Then life hit me harder. I lost my job. Just like that. Gone. And suddenly I had a mortgage, a second mortgage, bills, a family depending on me, no income. We had no choice. We had to sell the house. I called the realtor. We sat down and looked at the numbers. That's when reality punched me in the face. What we owed was exactly what the house was worth. No profit, no equity, nothing. I had already drained every dollar of value from that house. I remember the realtor looking at me and saying, "Oh no." That hurt. We eventually sold the house. After everything, we walked away with about $900. $900. That's it. Just like that, $50,000 of home equity vanished, gone. And it gets worse. I had debt again. I still had obligations. I still had no job. And then came one of the most humiliating moments of my life. I had to ask my parents for help. As a grown man, a husband, a father, I had to say, I can't do this alone. That crushed me, but I had no choice. I had to protect my family. Then came the final blow. I cashed out my retirement savings. $50,000. Everything. Gone. Used it to settle debts and start over. But there was one thing I underestimated. Taxes. That $50,000 counted as income. The next year, I owed $15,000 in taxes. So in roughly 5 years, I lost $115,000. Just gone. Because of bad decisions. Because of ego. Because I lived beyond my means. That's the painful truth. At age 42, I started from zero. Zero savings. Zero retirement. No safety net. Nothing. That's when my wife and I made a decision. No more credit cards. Ever. We closed every single one. And let me tell you something. Getting out of debt is hard. Getting into debt? Terrifyingly easy. Years passed. I finally started taking retirement seriously. I contributed heavily to my 401k. Every paycheck. As much as I could. Sometimes until it hurt. And when I retired at 67, I had rebuilt something. Not everything I could have had, but something. And sometimes I sit there and wonder, what if I had listened earlier? What if I had saved? What if I hadn't wasted all those years? How much further ahead would I be? But regret can either destroy you or teach you. So here's what I want to leave you with. Please do not wait until it's too late to get your finances in order. Stop trying to impress people. Stop trying to keep up with people who probably can't afford their lifestyle either. Be content. Be grateful. Live below your means. Save. Save early. Save consistently. You do not need millions to retire, but you do need discipline and peace. Because trust me, financial stress will steal years from your life. If my story helps even one person avoid the mistakes I made, then all this pain had purpose. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time.